right, I think we logged in.
Yep. Yo, what's good?
Yo, what's happening? Nothing much, brother. How you been?
I've been good. I'm in fucking Philly right now. I like moved here in October. I was just telling Sarah.
Very cool.
So I'm just
Okay.
on here.
Yeah. Hey, Sarah. How you doing?
Hey, what up? How are you? You're
I'm
in
good. I actually just touched down in. No, actually, I just touched down in Pretty Girl County. Yeah. I just touched down in PG, so I'm here for a little bit
Kill.
while I get my visa situated.
Kill.
Yeah. I had my visa. I had just like a regular regular tourist visa, and that lasts for 90 days.
Oh,
And
shit.
my 90 days had expired, but the embassies are closed now due to COVID.
Damn.
So I figured I would come here and just chill, see my doctor, see my therapist, see my dentist.
Good luck.
Cause cause you can't even mail like meds. You can't even mail meds, and the mail situation we'll talk about later, because it's just crazy. So I just figured I would come back, see my family, just stay out the way, stay in PG, and do some field recordings and all that cool stuff out here.
Damn. So yeah,
Your residency like sponsor your visa? Like, how'd you get out of the country?
They
These times.
Yeah, the residency took care of it, which is crazy, right? Like the borders were closed. I wasn't even sure I was going to get there. Like my passport had expired, and when I got accepted, my passport was expired, and I was just like, how the heck can I get there now? Because it's supposed to take like 12 weeks. But I just finessed, man. I finessed something crazy, because Seattle is one of two places in the country where they print the passports inside the passport facility.
Oh, word.
So it's actually Seattle and DC, and I needless to say, I did some crazy things, and I got my passport in a day, bro. I think I'm the only person in America to get their in a day. I swear.
When I was in Peru, my passport got stolen, and I had to like do the whole like embassy shit, like get a new passport while I was abroad. And I just realized how easy it would be to just get stuck abroad if you lost your passport. Like,
It's easy. It's easy.
it's like if
I know.
the embassies are closed now, so many mugs just must not be able to get home. Like,
I met someone on New Year's Eve who who didn't get their passport renewed, and I'm not advocating for this by any means, because I think the last place you want to end up in is in a prison in Germany. Like, but they're from California, and they just they were supposed their tourist visa expired, and they never got it renewed, and they've just been there. But due to COVID, the restrictions have been lax, so I didn't want to risk that, though. I'd already pulled a crazy lick getting my passport in the first place. I was like, yo, let me just cool out and not be hot.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, we'll talk about that offline, though, how I got there.
Yeah, no, I'm like really interested, bro. That's kind of crazy.
That whole year was crazy. We talked in the springtime, and things just got more and more crazy.
Right.
I
She
mean,
was already crazy when we talked.
It was hectic, but then it just got serendipitous, blessing, simultaneously, like freak show weirdness happening.
Like shit. Yeah, no, because when we talked to you, you were staying in Seattle. And then I feel like after, like a couple months after the interview, you did your residency in Berlin.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like how exactly did that like come about for real?
Okay. So I'm gonna keep it a bean with you because like I feel like we have this relationship where we're just transparent with each other, and this is really the only platform that I get to speak honestly about what my experience was. Some of it was hella traumatizing, and that's why I got
Yeah.
why I got out of Seattle. So we talked in what, like May, I think
Yeah.
it was like May, and then and then and then George Floyd got murdered, and
Yeah.
the protests started turning up around the
Yeah.
whole country. And I don't know if you know, but Seattle had established this autonomous zone,
Mm-hmm.
and I was actually living in it.
Oh
Like
shit.
my apartment was in it, and
Yeah.
and I was participating in the protests as well,
Yeah.
and rightfully so. I was enraged, and they were just replaying it over and over in social media. And I had at the time I had some mental health stuff that was undiagnosed, so I really got really involved in it and really emotionally involved, and I couldn't pull myself out of it.
Yeah.
And the cops just began to stalk me and do some really, really crazy things. I was getting weird packages delivered to me,
What?
and again, it's stuff we'd have to talk to offline. But I want people to know that happens, man, and it's a real thing. It's actually a real thing that has never ended from back when Asada Shakur was talking about it. Like that stuff actually happens. I stuck out like a sore thumb. I'm on the Pacific Northwest with a PG accent, and not only that, I'm just like intense, and I'm also low key on point with it too.
Facts.
So they try to get me out the way.
Yeah.
So I moved from that crib to another one, and I was speaking about my experience on my Instagram, and a friend was like, "I'm so sorry to hear about all that, but there's this program, not but there's this program in Berlin that I think honestly you got a shot at getting accepted to. Is this
Yep.
at this thing called the Factory, Beats by Dre, Sonar Plus D. You're the prototype individual that they want." So I said, okay. At the time, remember I was telling you about Prelude?
Yeah.
I leveraged that web presence and that representation that I created for myself to submit a you know an application on my own behalf.
Facts.
And I was supposed to hear back in a month, and I didn't hear back from him. 2 months passed by, I didn't hear from him, and I was like, man, this sucks. I figured it was a no, but like 15 days after that, they hit me back like, yo, you're accepted. I don't know how you're going to get here, but if you do, you got a place to work, you got a network, you got mentorships, you got collaborations, and we'll vouch for you to get on Sonar Plus D Festival, which I don't even know if it's happening now. So I was just like, dang, I actually low key got that jump.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So then the next thing, my passport was expired, was for me to figure out a way to get there. And I figured that out, and I got my passport 2 days before my flight, and I just hopped on that jump. I didn't look back, man. I didn't look back. I still got bags in Seattle, and I just like gave away like half of my like clothes. I just put them on the street because the houseless population there is just it's just kind of it's crazy.
Yeah.
People go there though because the weather is beautiful. You know what I mean? Like even though it rains like 9 months out the year, it's really pleasant and livable still. That's why so many homeless people are there. But yeah, so next thing I know, I was on a flight to Berlin, and then that just opened up a whole new can of worms. Nothing
Yeah.
got easier, but it was like that though. You know what I'm saying? And I actually just I still have I'm still getting new opportunities there. So as soon as my visa gets situated, I'm going back. I got 2 studios to work out of.
Yeah.
It's just like that. It's just like that.
Yeah, no, that's sick. That's crazy how it all ended up working out too. Like just that progression of events, and then someone just seeing you post about it on your story, and then like, yo, like you should check this shit out, and then it like ended up working. and the whole Prelude agency too, because I remember in the interview we were talking about, yeah, I have this for like that specific reason, so I can like send my shit to people and be like, yo, this is.
You got some guardian angels watching out for you, bro.
You know, that's exactly what my therapist said to me. My therapist said the most amazing thing. I just got a new therapist like in November, and I was telling them about my life experience and the not so good things. Obviously, you know, it's easy to talk about the accomplishments and stuff, but the no's definitely outweigh the yeses. You know, I would say by like 20-1. Like shoot 20 shots and they all from like half court, you make like one of them. But she said, you know, I was telling her about nights and different issues that I was having with drinking sometimes and with self-esteem, and she said, you know, it sounds like you have some people, some family members that are really, really rooting for you, that are really praying for you, but don't overwork your angels. And that was really like eloquent, you know, and succinct. Yeah. And I would get that tatted on my face, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I really like that.
Isn't that special?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really something. I love hearing like short phrases. Sorry, nah.
No, that's it. Don't overwork your angels.
Yeah.
You know, we be pushing them.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great quote. But yeah, when exactly did you get to Berlin? Like in terms of just like the timeline and stuff like.
So I had to leave before my 90 days was up, and I got there I think like October 6th, October 8th.
Where?
So it was early October. Berlin, pardon me, they weren't locked down at the time, so I got to go to a couple outdoor bars. I didn't get a chance to go to Berghain or any of the crazy clubs or any of that stuff because all of that is still shut down. And there's actually like a new strain of COVID that they found in Berlin recently.
Damn.
Like this week. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So they're on complete lockdown right now.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So you said you're working on your visa before when you were doing the residency. You just like went over there on some like vacation shit on paper.
No, well, on paper, I had gotten a letter from the factory saying that I was admitted to this prestigious program, and that's why when I landed, they just read that and everything was straight. But if I had just landed
that's
there,
amazing.
Yeah, if I had landed there without that, though, you know, they would have said you need to buy a ticket back home and not let me in because they're not letting people in just off the strength.
Yeah.
Word.
Yeah, I had a homie who was trying to get to Berlin all semester and he just couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, if he could get some institution to vouch for him, then, you know, I feel like the border patrol wouldn't know the difference, but I'm definitely not encouraging anybody to test that.
He's gonna stay put.
Yeah, because they got guns.
It's just amazing that you were able to get there.
Yeah. I'm just really blessed to have gotten that opportunity because it was my first time in Europe too. Oh. And so but that first time, you know, for me to go there because I make fire beats, like what? Yeah, in the pandemic, come on, man, you can't beat that.
Yeah, no, that shit's crazy.
So I got this shirt from there too, Men Under Control, spit mask.
It's fire.
Yeah, shit's crazy.
So what were like some of the things you were getting into when you were in Berlin as far as like projects you worked on?
Yeah, I'm glad you're asking about the projects I got into. So first day, like the first, second, or third day I was there, I had dyed my hair. I dyed my hair a few times, and I was walking on the street, and this photographer named Martin Maye, she was just like looking at me, and I was just, you know, just like happy-go-lucky to be there. So I had gotten accustomed to people kind of staring at me, like I don't know what vibe I was given, but it was clearly like off some notfromherevibes.net. And so I just winked, and then she was like, "Can I take a picture of you?" Immediately, and I was just like, "Yeah, absolutely." You know, I was like, "Here's my Instagram though. You gotta tag me in it."
Yeah.
And then she was like, "Actually, I'm doing a shoot for Document Journal, which is this like luxury fashion mag." And she was like, "Are you free Saturday?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm free. I mean, I just said I was available." And one thing I learned out there is I said less. You know what I'm saying? I just was saying less. I was like, "Sure, I'm free." That's just like the way. And so then that's how I just literally got cast for this Document Journal shoot. And then I got to wear like some jewelry that Simone Rocha made, and she was just on Vogue Paris for a partnership with H&M. So it was just all these like little small connections that we're having. Also creatively, I made a lot of street art. That's one thing I was really inspired by out there was the graffiti, and there was in particular this one graffiti artist that would tag the number 6.tk.de over everything. And I was really, really so inspired by it. They would use fluorescent color paint and would tag doors, would tag trash cans, would tag other people's posters. And it was literally on every square inch of New Coin, which is the kind of area that I was staying in. So I was really inspired by that. So then I was just making my own kind of art out of things that I found on the ground. Like they have bodegas there. The bodegas are called spaties. And so I would like get things that the spaties were like throwing out, and I would print adhesive double-sided vinyl paper and the factory and just like place it on there and just leave stuff out because I just felt like contributing to. I made some really nice stuff. I actually expected the guy or the girl who does the sixes to tag it, but every time I would put something out there, it would just get stolen the next day.
Damn.
And yeah, it sucked. I was really hoping that I could get one of those and just like be able to bring it home, but it didn't happen. I was using like refrigerator doors. I was using like anything that I could find to try to make art, you know, like it just really got me in a different zone, like actually printing this stuff up instead of keeping it on my phone screen, you know. So I did a lot of not wheat pasting, but I was using double-sided tape, and that's a lot of stuff that I did that I don't necessarily have like a receipts of per se, but it really gave me a sense of fulfillment when I was there. I did a lot of musical collaborations. I finished writing like I had done like maybe half of Max Res Default before I got there.
Right.
And then I did the writing and delivered vocals and recorded that in the Beats by Dre studio. And one of the song like Type 4C, I don't know, my like, I did that one night. I was just up all night. That song sounds like someone's on like a speed binge and really close to where I was at with it, like just mentally and chemically. I did sound for an installation for a coat, a privacy trench coat by this art duo called Operator LA. They were the only folks from America beside me that were invited to it. It was like 10 residents in total. And I did sound and I did a poem called Privacy is Fake Now for their installation. And basically the installation was just like an exhibition of this trench coat where in the pockets, it has this material that insulates your phone from, that insulates your phone from receiving any cell phone transmission.
Facts. This is the poem you wrote for it?
Yeah, I wrote it and I recorded it, and then I collaborated with this artist Amon Tobin, who apparently is popping, and I put the words to that music. I also contributed music to it as well, but then we did it in this 360-degree projection room.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah, if you click on Deja, you'll probably see some documentation of the installation. Yeah,
Here.
the to the left. I think this is like this should show what was going on. So Aaron Jablonski did filters for it. This is the music you can hear in the background that me and Amon Tobin collaborated on. That's Harriet. She does amazing digital work. Yeah, and that's the space that we presented into.
That looks great.
Those are people. That's just shit's being projected on.
No, the people are there was a filter that was designed for the installation as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and yeah, those are people.
Word. So that's just that's like an augmented reality thing, like just on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, if you want to learn how to make your own filters, you need the software called Spark AR, and then you download you just look it up on YouTube if you when you get some time, and like there's tutorials for everything, and then you can port them to your phone within like 48 hours. So if y'all have an idea for a filter, you design it in Spark AR, and the learning curve is really short, and then you can port it to your phone.
Yeah. All
That's
right.
so dope.
The more you know.
We're about to get this Sleepwalker filter. It sounds like.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Basically, yeah. No, I was just on your Instagram earlier and just looking at just different things that you had done.
Yeah, you know I got a bad habit of archiving everything. But everything's there somewhere. This was the best though.
Yeah. Yo, I can't hear you, Mario.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Weird. I was just saying I felt like I was in a dance scene in Blade.
Yeah, that was cool. Oh yes, that's the perfect analogy off my Wesley Snipes. Yeah, that was in the same room. If you kind of like look, you can tell it's the same room that the other exhibition was held in. We were just using this room to its maximum like ability. Man, this was really like the best DJ set I feel like I've done.
How often would you say that like the Space Factory ran exhibitions like this?
Never done nothing like this, honestly. This was the first time they really cranked in that room like that. Yeah. They have done some experimental sets in there and some kind of like whatever, but they ain't rock like the heat that we brought. We really, it was just too much for them, right? Like
stretch them out.
Yeah, and then
that was intense. We was fucking it up.
This is the you were talking about.
Oh yeah. So this is like this is them tagging the Final Fantasy like poster for PlayStation.
Yeah.
All over. I wonder if I can unarc. You know, don't I won't even worry about it. But I have so many photos
that's tough that they use like
the fluorescent paint.
Yeah.
The fluorescent paint is just cold. Like
yeah, they use like the marker too.
Yeah. It's just next level. Cloud Strife. That's who that is from Final Fantasy.
And then I feel like this was probably this is another modeling thing you did, right?
This was the one that I got casted for the second or third day I was there. And it was nice too because after the shoot, we walked down to the canal and there was this flea market going on at the canal, and there's all these swans like swimming down the canal. It was early October, so it was really pleasant.
Yep.
And the flea markets over there are crazy. So much nice stuff, just so much nice stuff. They just like empty out apartments that are vacant and then just bring everything in there. I got the jeans I'm wearing now for like 10 euro. They're like my favorite pants ever now too. Yeah.
Word.
Oh yeah, and I wrote that poem. I wrote that poem for the document thing too. I don't think they included it on the website though, but I figured I would put it up because I was really proud of it. I wrote some really nice poetry when I was out there, but I kept my mood kept going crazy though because I was listening to Me Against the World by Tupac, so I was getting paranoid.
That's fair.
I was just getting paranoid, bro. Like I didn't even have to get all paranoid like that, but yeah.
I feel you.
I
go through that
7%.
same.
I can. The binges of just like listening to binges are like listening to one album and then just really getting into the same frame that artist was in.
Yeah, and then looking back at it, like I really didn't have to do that.
Yeah, I'm like, damn. I'm like, man, I'm worried about something I don't even really need to worry about.
Like shit.
But I just realized like how awesome his vocal cadences were.
Right.
Honestly, like them joints was just like that. Me against the world.
Yeah.
Ooh, ooh.
And then
Yeah, man.
I feel like this was probably like one of your main things you're working on there.
Yeah. Yeah, the Dark Spring joint. Here, go to Atelier de Son. Here, I'll spell it, and you can see.
Throw it in the chat.
Oh shit! Rare website alert.
Yeah, fleeting website till I get what I need.
Oh, this shit is yours?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Word.
If you click on Dark Spring on the left, you will be able to get some pictures and stuff. And a little recap video. Although I think the recap video was in yeah, I used Exhibitor for this, XHBTR Exhibitor. Yeah. Yeah, this was my main project. This is the one that I proposed to them in order to get into the program.
Does this also take place in the 360 room?
Yeah, yeah.
And you selected all the visuals and you did the music too, right?
Yeah, I selected all the visuals. I did the music, and the clothes were designed by a friend from Seattle, Rachel. She changes her Instagram name every day, so I think right now it's like bloody booger or something like that. But yeah, what it was this. The concept was to create a runway that scored itself. And oh, I didn't know that video was there too. I'll talk about that one too. The concept was to create a runway that scored itself. So basically, I took these things called beacons, these little Bluetooth devices that are actually really prevalent in the malls and stuff, and they're used for what's called proximity-based marketing. So if your phone goes nearby a beacon and you have the Starbucks app, when you browsing on the internet, you'll get ads for Starbucks coupons or something like that. Or like if you're in H&M and you have the H&M app and a beacon is nearby, then that's when you get the alert. Hey, if you spend $30, you'll get 30% off or something like that. I attached those to sex dolls that I bought. I went out to I found this sex shop in off of Karl Marx Straße. And by the way, they have these street names which is crazy, like Karl Marx Street. But so I went to a sex shop off of Karl Marx Straße, and I bought these sex dolls, and I talked with the owner of the shop about them, and the vision I wanted to do just create a sound sculpture that communicates with these Bluetooth beacons, and that drives a generative sound patch that I put together in Max MSP. Max MSP is a visual programming language that you can use to make virtual instruments for Ableton, and basically it's its own interface. It's not just interface with Ableton. But anyway, I was telling him about it, and he ended up telling me about this artist from Germany named Hans Bellmer, who actually did something very similar. He went to the woods in Germany, and he was making these grotesque sex dolls in like the 1920s as a protest against the quote unquote cult of the perfect body by the Nazi party at the time. Yeah. He took 10 photographs of them. He made the dolls. He left them in the woods, and eventually word got around that he was doing this art. It was called degenerate art, and it was referred to as degenerate art, and he got expelled from Germany.
Damn.
So it was. If you look him up, I'll type his name up for you, Hans Bellmer. So I was reading into him, and I was like, wow, nearly 100 years later, I'm sitting here trying to revolt against the same thing. I'm just doing it with sex dolls, and he kind of made his own pieces. This is kind of crazy. So I was looking into him, and I read into his partner, Ulrika Zürn, and she was just kind of like this troubled artist who made really awesome short stories and awesome drawings. But so I was just getting into him and getting into her because I felt like there was a century-wide gap between us, but it was almost on the same wavelength. And there's another part of this that I need to talk about as well. But she had written this story that I read called Dark Spring, and that's where the name of the collection came from, was from this short story that she wrote. Ulrika Zürn, I think is Zürn, Dark Spring. And Dark Spring is a story about a troubled young girl, and it's just told in a very feverish pace. So like 60, 70 pages. Yeah, that's it right there. Dark Spring by Ulrika Zürn. And it's told at this really feverish pace, and it's a really dark, really disconcerting story. Unica Zürn, my bad, I said Ulrika Zürn. Unica Zürn. And yeah, I mean, I would recommend anyone who's into reading very bizarre, dark things to check it out, just because the way that it's read is just unique, to say the least.
This looks fire.
Yeah. Look, it's got like 4 stars, 4 point something stars. Yeah, I mean, it's a very sad story. It's very dark, and it's very compelling. And so I named my installation after this story. Yeah.
It's fire.
And did you know about the story pre-learning about Hans Bellmer? Or
no, I had no clue about Hans Bellmer or this story.
Gotcha.
Coming into Berlin, is the guy at the sex shop who ran the sex shop just told me about it. He had, in fact, on my receipt, he wrote Hans Bellmer's name on the back of my receipt.
Oh.
So I'm walking home with these like 6 blow-up dolls, looking like a fucking freak, and and I got this sheet of paper that says Hans Bellmer on the back, and I looked into it and I realized that it was kind of really, really poignant for him to point out our similarities, you know, especially in that brief moment. I actually recorded our conversation because he spoke English, and maybe I'll upload it to my SoundCloud or something. It was about 25-minute talk about. I walked in there. He was like, "You don't look like the type to use these." And I was like, no, I think I'm going to give them a different shelf life than most people would. So he was just like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." So then he sold me like an erotic magazine too. And I never forget this. He'll say, "Don't worry, there's no DNA on it." I was like, "Oh,
Oh, nah.
oh,
No DNA.
no DNA."
I mean, I guess that's good news, but
That's a classy way to say it, but yeah.
yeah.
So I ended up.
Does that
making,
mean that he does sell some with DNA on him?
People are into weird things, man.
I guess so.
People are into everything, you know. That's one thing I'll tell you.
Like shit.
Yeah, I ended up using that magazine to kind of make the framework for this zine that I made for the installation. Which, Amari, I'll send you. I think I got an extra one, so I'll send one to you, and I'll send you a copy of Maxwell's The Fall. I'll rip you a cassette tape.
Hey, good luck. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. Send it to SleepWalker.
But so you said you recorded half of Max Red's Default in Berlin. Do you think? Well, one, I just want to say I really fuck with the album. I feel like.
Thank you, bro.
I feel like each song is like it's really like its own, and it kind of showcases like all the different shit you can do. And yeah, I think it's just like a good thing. But one, was that kind of on purpose to have each song be a little like kind of different from the next, and then also like what was it like recording it?
Yeah. So Mesh Top 1 and 2 were apart. So when I was in May, I remember I was telling y'all about what I was doing with Prelude and like the name generator. Did I talk about that? Like the artist name generator. So some of these tracks really came from different personalities that I created with the influence of that name generator, name and idea generator. So Mesh Top and Mesh Top Part 2 came from an alias that I had called Gaspar Echo Go, and Waiting Game and Waiting Game Reprise. Those were, I think I was trying to get those beats to JunglePussy. The second one I was trying to get to JunglePussy, and we've been in touch, but you know, I don't know if she's recorded to any of them yet, and frankly I've already dropped the music. So Waiting Game, BB, and Truth or Dare, I think I wrote as references to artists that I was going to think about producing for, but I just kept them for myself. The Waiting Game Reprise, I submitted to Fader magazine for this Dolby contest last summer, and I actually like got my music featured on Fader because I performed the Waiting Game Reprise outside of my crib in Seattle.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. It was really well shot by my roommate Brandon at the time. BB and Truth or Dare, those are just bangers for real. Like those are collaborations between me and Jocko Graves, who is just like an amazing artist, a father, and photographer. Yeah. And he also makes killer beats. So I had sent him the keys, the bass. No, I sent him the keys, one version of drums, and vocals for BB, and he sent me back drums, and that's how that song got finished. Right. And then Truth or Dare, I sent him a song that I had made, and he chopped it up and added kind of like the same drum tones from BB, and that's how Truth or Dare came out. And both of them are freestyles.
Oh, that's so fire! I have to say that Truth or Dare is like such a good song. Like I really fuck with Truth or Dare. Like I do fuck with, like, the entire tape is great, and like I second what Amari said, but like Truth or Dare, like I bumped that heavy. Yeah,
Truth or Dare also, that to throw it back, that my drummer Mark Block, who used to used to drum for TCB, used to drum for other bands. I think in the song, Wale song "Bait," that's his drums that's being sampled.
Oh damn.
He came up with the throw it back part, right? So yeah, and then the rest is just a freestyle. Let's see, 150cc. That's my boy Rob Oliver sent me some really fucking terrifying synth and guitar tones that I chopped up for that. But that one I wrote completely in Berlin, completely from start to finish. Same with 150cc. No, that is 150cc. And then Type 4C. I like Type 4C is my joint because, you know, that's like a hair texture. You know what I mean? And it's my hair texture. So yeah, picture perfect Romeo with Type C. Like you can't, you know, it's hard to see, you know, visualize a Shakespearean protagonist as a black man, you know. So that joint I made that in Berlin after, really the night after I went to like my first Berlin DJ set. I saw this guy Philipp Stroudwell. He's really cool. He's a good artist. He's the resident on Horror Berlin. I'm not sure if y'all know about that, but it's this DJ set in a really green room.
Wait.
Like it's like, well, yeah, it's really dope. But and then Daydream, I chopped up some samples that I got from Hardwax, which is this record store in Berlin that is, I will encourage anybody who's into like DJing and techno and electronic music to check out Hardwax, because it's just really freaking dope. Yeah. So yeah, I guess it just kind of ended up being different points of that year. You know, normally I'll wait a year, 2 years to drop some stuff, but I just woke up on like November 16th, like, yo, I'm dropping an album. I got a full album here, and I got a joint that no one else could put together. So I'm gonna make some tapes, and I'm gonna make them available out here. Excuse me. And people were coming up to the factory to pick up tapes from me and stuff. It was really like that.
Yeah, that's sweet.
And maybe my favorite part of the album is the P Diddy part at the end of BB, I think.
Yo, I was gonna ask, was that because I feel like I recognized like the part of it, but I wasn't sure who it was. And like I really had a question that's like, is that P Diddy?
Yeah, it's P Diddy, Puff Daddy, Papa Diddy Pop.
Stan. What's your most favorite song off of it? Would you say the one that you like enjoyed?
BB. If you listen to BB, I don't want to give this away, but if you listen to BB, you can really hear. I could always hear. Hold up, how does it go? Overnight Celebrity, I think, really goes with that. Yeah. So there's more to the song. My hard drive crashed also a few days before this. So it was like, if I don't put this music out, then I'm just going to be stuck with it, and I'm not going to be able to find a better version, and these versions are fine. Yeah.
It's crazy because I feel like all of these like random events kind of happen to you, and they all like lead up to like something like bigger and better. And even though a lot of times in the moment it might seem like, even with like the hard drive crashing and shit, it's like, yeah, it kind of sucks, but then like right after it results in like this.
I mean, you know, I'm never going to tell people not to mix and master and to put their music in a situation for it to reach a broader audience or whatever, but I just work with what I got, you know what I mean? Like, I know that I don't have to get 1 trillion plays in order for me to get an opportunity that'll take me around the world.
Yeah, like shit.
Straight up, I don't have to, and I'm not that kind of person anyway. I think that would just be too much for me. So I'm sure y'all see, I keep my social media insulated, you know, and maybe part of it is doubt or insecurity or whatever, but I just want to be able to manage the opportunities that I have and give my full attention and intention to them. And I really started honoring that last year, and I encourage y'all to do the same in your own little way and shoot the shots that you know are right for you, because they're going to fall, they're going to sink, they really will.
Facts.
It's crazy how stuff works out, though. I'm glad that you pointed that out, because it's just, honestly, it's kind of freaky and spooky sometimes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be like shooting emails, getting 20 no's, trying to get a gig or something, thinking I'm not gonna be able to put food on the table, and then, oh, another thing I did while I was out there that really helped, I didn't have any money, you know what I'm saying? I was getting unemployment because I got fired from my job when I was teeing up on them about the protests and stuff. Yeah. And then, like, just out the blue, someone who purchased a tape referred me to their college's, like, student life committee, and they booked me to do a show live from Berlin that they put on their Instagram and paid me to step.
What? Damn.
Yeah. And
that's wild.
This was like literally a week before I had no money. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I did it. And I just did it live from one day I just went live and I just recorded it, and I had the camera set up, because one thing I learned in Berlin, though, I will say, is the importance of a production budget. So folks, that if you want to furnish some content for a brand that's a little bigger than you or way bigger than you, you know, you got to have the lighting right. You got to have, like, you know, some idea of what you're going to do beforehand, and the right cameras and people that just know how to press play and stop. And if you can get that kind of buy-in from folks, you can create some really high quality productions that can, you know, turn around, that can result in a bag or two.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah, straight up.
This is just kind of a random question, but have you seen any, like, good movies recently while out there? Yes, absolutely. A few nights ago, I watched the movie Chun King Express. Have y'all heard of that?
No. I don't think so.
Okay. Chun King Express is a story that's about, oh my God, it's so good. It's so good. What about the movie do you want to know? What was the question about, though? Like, because I'll fucking be talking about this movie for as long as it will run.
I would listen to whatever you had to say, to be honest, about the movie.
Okay. So the movie is about a guy in maybe China, I think. Maybe it's Japan. I'm sorry, but I'm not sure where it takes place. But he's a police officer, and he's dealing with a breakup with his girl, and he decides he's going to fall in love with the next woman that he sees, and he falls in love with the next woman that he sees. And at the middle of the movie, it completely splits to another protagonist who is similarly dealing with the breakup, and he's going to this restaurant called the Chun King Express every day, and the girl who's working there, she falls in love with him, and he's low-key falling in love with her, but he's playing hard to get, and he's still mourning his breakup, but she then begins sneaking into his apartment and cleaning up his apartment while he's too depressed to do it. And so it's a really sweet movie, very humorous. But what's most astonishing about it is the way that it's shot. It's shot just using 3 distinct cinematographic techniques. One is kind of like the stop motion aspect. The next is just like a traditional Hollywood 1994 well-produced film vibe. And then there's these moments of intense emotion where it changes to that 16 millimeter analog vibe. And recurring throughout the movie is the song California Dreamin'. This weird obsession with California Dreamin'.
All right.
How have you ever seen the movie Wings of Desire?
I'm not hip.
I feel like you would love that shit. It's set in Berlin. It's about these angels who come to Berlin, and they can hear human thoughts, and they like just kind of walk around and like visit people's lives. Only children can see them. They just look like normal people, and like people be going through it, and they just like put their hand on their shoulder, and then the people are like, damn, you know, like I just got to keep my head up, like it's all gonna be okay.
What? Oh, I love that. I love that.
And the cinematography is crazy. Like it's kind of like entrancing. I feel like you would really fuck with it.
Yeah, what's it called?
Okay.
Wings of Desire, 1987.
Right. Oh, 87. Okay, that's great. I'm going to put that on my list to watch on Zoom with my girlfriend this week.
Word.
Guaranteed.
Also, I wanted to know what shirt are you wearing?
Yeah, this is from this band, Spit Mask. And it says Men Under Control. And it's a woman spanking a man. Yeah, it's kind of sick. They're a good band.
Oh, no, I just Googled Spit Mask, and there's like people with like bags over their mouths for...
Oh, yeah, you got to be careful with that.
Actual Spit Mask.
Actual BDSM. Yeah, this was the last shirt that they had. I went to like this record label. This woman named Antonia runs this record label / bar, and they sell the merch of the bands that she represents. And they also have the CDJs in the back, and it's really dim lit, and it's like a speakeasy. Yeah, I got this there, and obviously I got the 930 jacket because I just love the 930 Club. They've always showed me love, even when I've been obnoxious sometimes. But I'm older now. I changed.
That's all you need. A little bit of time.
A little bit of time.
That's all everything needs.
Well, I want to talk about how you got on the panel for the South by Southwest conferences going on.
Heck yeah. Yeah, that so we're doing a panel on the interplay between music and visual culture. And this is actually everyone that I collaborated in that installation with that you saw with the filter.
Oh, way.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about this and the next project that we have coming up, which is actually with London Fashion Week on February 19th.
Yo.
And that's another instance where that's a lifelong goal that I've had, a lifelong dream that I've had, and I've put so much intention into it. And then one day I just look at my phone and I've got a text like, hey, we got asked to do a production for London Fashion Week. Do you want to score it? Nuts. I could show you my notebook from 2015 with me writing that as a New Year resolution. And I wrote it this year too, and now I've accomplished it. I'm so happy with it. I bought this new keyboard yesterday so that I could really get busy and compose for it. It's this Roland XP60 with like a freaking floppy disk expansion.
Ew. Whoa.
Yeah, this drone is going to sound like heaven. Oh my God, I'm gonna put some sick stuff through for them. But yeah. So this South by Southwest panel, the idea came from just some conversations that we had with our mentors, and they actually submitted us for this. And part of it was like a vote. I think it was like 25% was a vote. I don't think anyone voted for anyone because nobody does that. I remember Afropunk used to try to get you to vote your way into their fucking thing. But never mind. You know, I all love the Afropunk. But yeah, so it's just going to be the four of us talking about where social media and music collide, and it'll just be the same stuff that we talk about each time we talk is what I have to bring to this discussion. Hey, you know, do your own limited run merch and rely on personal relationships, because especially now, people aren't really, you know, these cold emails get harder and harder and harder to get any traction with. you know, and you don't necessarily have to just make your music digestible on a digital platform. And I feel like my legacy now is doing the opposite of that, and it's working for me so well.
Right.
It's kind of stupid, like it's just like that's just like my MO, and it took years of developing the confidence and the language with friends like my friend Ashovo really helps me with that. It takes time, you know, but you don't have to make stuff for where people are accustomed to receiving it. I think it's the worst thing you can do for yourself.
What do you think the biggest, you know, like, because obviously finding that the audience is there for whatever kind of like approach you want to take, but I feel like with something like doing all like analog and, you know, taking a non-digital approach or a non-like internet approach, you have kind of a harder time finding that audience. Like, do you think you had like roadblocks on the way to like really like making that your MO?
Well, as much as I preach my ideal, I still have Instagram. You know, I still have Instagram. I still use it to get new music, to connect with different artists. I'm not totally anti that. I just know that there's a limit and a ceiling with which your hard worked and your labor only goes but so far on Instagram. You know, like we make these posts and we spend like 30 minutes filtering it and getting it ready to fit in our grid, and as soon as we post it, you know, we see it at the top of the feed, and what do? We just scroll past everybody else's shit. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like as if
Exactly.
somebody's really going to spend 30 minutes looking at every aspect of your photo. They're going to make a quick judgment call. So you have to have something more sustainable than that immediate impression, because you really could be reaching your biggest fans, your biggest supporters, but if they're accustomed to engaging with Instagram in a certain way, that there's no way you should put all your eggs in that kind of basket. So yeah, I mean, part of it is me living in DIY communities and seeing how word of mouth is the best form of promotion. It's just much more easy for me to put intention and my kindness and my love and my spirit into a physical object as opposed to a digital post.
Yeah.
And then also when you have that physical object, you get to strike a communication with folks who have already tuned out of the digital world.
Word.
You know what I mean? And those are really the stakeholders and the folks with wisdom and with opportunities that like this guy, Andrew Meliquire. He's a producer for Massive Attack. And I was talking about the Max Res Default tapes, and he was one of our mentors at the Residency. And we were going around introducing ourselves, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, my name's Tony, and I'm an alcoholic. It's like, no, I was like, yo, my name's Tony. I'm doing these tapes. I'm doing these installations too, but I really care about these tapes. And, you know, he recommends a tape player for me to buy. Come to find out, he's used the same Bluetooth beacon technology in an installation that he did with Bjork in 2015 that was funded by Apple. You know, but it took the tapes to get that out of him. You know what I mean?
Word. Yeah, make that connection.
To make that connection. So he's recommending tape players for me. And then he's telling me about, he's basically saying, I already did, you know, like, kudos to you. I already did what you're doing, but keep going because you're onto something.
Cool.
So yeah, man. It's wild. All I'm gonna just say is just follow your intuition. You know, like, I think if y'all are in the medium of presenting artist narratives, like to to broader audiences and stuff, like I feel like if y'all think, and this is not me trying to tell you how to do your job, but if you really just think about the first times you were really impressed and driven to pursue this, if you can just follow that as like your, you know, your kind of light in the dark, I think you would be really enriched and surprised with where the universe and where God meets you.
Like shit.
Yeah. It's wild. It's wild because all I've been doing my whole life, when I was young, I used to just record clips of basketball players to VHS, and I would plug like my CD player into the audio jack, and I would plug the TV into the video jack, and I would make my own like mixtapes, like and one mixtapes, and try to sell them in like my middle school. So this is like literally in my DNA, you know what I'm saying? It's like literally the same thing I've been doing forever, no matter if the drum cadences change and they become 20, 21 drum cadences. I've been doing this so long that I can keep up, and I'm not gonna look like I'm trying to be young, you know what I'm saying? Or I'm comfortable, I'm completely comfortable and secure being where I am in my career. And yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's an amazing place to be, for real. Like doing the shit that you love, being in a good place.
And meeting people that are passionate and people that know more than I know in a lot of different areas. Like I didn't understand what a production budget really was until like last fall. I mean, I had some idea of what it could mean, but now I'm like, yo, I can have these ideas and I can hire a mid-level to senior level producer to manage the day-to-day tasks for me. Like that happens. People accept those kind of things. Okay, so instead of me asking Warp Records for a record deal and production thing, I need to really recalibrate what I want and figure out how I can reach out to enrich everyone that supports me and to get to the next step. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel you.
And it's crazy. I don't know if people like this or not, but as soon as I get information, I share it. Like I think some folks might be annoyed with that when they tell me something, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, then I'm sharing it, but it's not mine to hoard.
Yeah. If you gatekeep the important information, then it just ends up getting lost, I feel like.
You guys ends up being lost, and like I'm only hurting myself by being stingy. I would only be hurting myself by being stingy because folks want to get the info that is meant for them, whether I'm the vehicle of it or not, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I think that was just crazy though when I recently found out about that. Like you can hire a producer and give them and propose a budget and let them delegate all the stuff and you just do what you want. What the fuck? Like, yeah, you can actually do that. In fact, that's how it's done. That's the norm in that industry. So, yeah, man.
Good. Heard. I was on your models website or your profile on models, and it says that you have a residency at a PioneerWorks in Redhook this year. How did that like come about, and then like when do you start?
So that came about, about a month after I applied to Factory Berlin. I hadn't heard back from them. Unfortunately, I was not expecting the best. I was feeling like inadequate, and I was feeling all sorts of doubt and low-key depression at me just facing being in Seattle while the cops are terrorizing everyone, and I feel like a target.
Yeah.
And my same friend who recommended me to the PioneerWorks, they recommended me to the Factory Berlin res, said, hey, I saw this thing at PioneerWorks. I'm not sure what's going on with Berlin. I mean, I can't make you any promises, but why don't you try this one? So I did it again. I made a new page on my Prelude website, and I shot a new shot, and and they accepted my proposal. Like they
That
accepted it.
is a real homie, whoever's sending you all that shit.
Yeah, they're the plug. They're the plug. I think I've always, I actually, what happened, how I met them in 2015, 2016, 2015, 2016. It was after I dropped Thought Crimes. It was 2017, and it was like some DIY show. I forget the name of the venue. They're all defunct now, but it was a DIY show, and it was me and two other acts on the bill, and I really came prepared, and I killed it, right? And next thing I knew, she gave me these two recommendations because we've just been in touch since that performance. You know, that's it.
Why
Just
are
one.
you at the Red
That's crazy.
It's wild. It's wild. It's like, all right, cool. I killed it. I came correct one night in 2017, and now I got Berlin, and now I got the Brooklyn joint because of that.
Yeah,
so
when
Brooklyn,
you got to Brooklyn?
First week of January 2022.
Damn, yeah.
Oh damn.
Sorry, first entire month of January 2022.
Far out
So,
in the future, but if you ever need extra hands while you're here, I'm always looking to get involved in other people's projects.
Oh, you're in Brooklyn?
I'm in Brooklyn, yeah.
Okay, dope. We'll chop it up. I mean, that's gonna be a year from now, but
I'll be
yeah,
here.
we'll figure something. Yeah, absolutely, and hopefully the whole COVID thing will be done so we can ethically hang out, and you know, obviously, like I'm gonna have access to the studio, so you're welcome to drop by and record any interviews or anything that y'all will want to do while I'm there. Like, it's gonna be really cool. Yeah, that'll be really cool. Yeah, I think there's a website for it too. Let me see if I can.
PioneerWorks is so cool.
I've never been.
I've heard about I think I've heard about this residency, but they call it like Redhook, or what's the name of the place? Where is it in Brooklyn?
Redhook is
Redhook.
Yeah, I've heard like Redhook specifically, but I feel like it's in reference to this residency whenever I hear about Redhook, because it's always about just like art shit, like really good art.
Yeah, the project I proposed to them, honestly, I needed to be a little bit warmer for me to do the project. I wanted to create put these instruments up at different parts in Brooklyn, and then on a map I was going to trace it to create like some sort of shape. Like a heart is an example of a shape that I could make, but I mean it may be more complex than that. But I just want to bring some positivity to that area, and yeah.
What kind of instruments?
I was going to build a synthesizer. I've done that before, and I have friends that build pedals and stuff. But I basically want to create a solar-powered wave player, something that plays, because of this. When it receives sunlight, it plays like a sound, like a really nice drone or something like that.
That's chill.
That sounds dope. That's like just brings some happiness into the day. Like,
right.
Exactly.
I'm into that.
I actually have the sound that I want to use for it. If let me see if I can find it within the next 30 seconds. Yeah, this is it. Okay, so the file that I sent is an example of the kind of sound that I want when the sun hits this object. Like, let's say the sun hits this object, it'll be like a little speaker, and it'll be attached to like a stoplight or something like that, or a mailbox, and it'll play this sound.
It's taking a sec to download.
Are those wind chimes?
Yeah, but I play them using a circuit bent keyboard that I found in Seattle.
Yeah, I could literally like listen to wind chimes 24/7. They're so
so pleasant, right?
I would be down to be hearing this all over Brooklyn. That's for sure.
See?
Yeah.
So hopefully but I feel like January is cold there, but
not
I don't know.
It's
It's not
40s.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'll let everyone know.
But then this is mad euphoric.
Yeah, that'll be good. Let them know I'm coming to fuck shit up. Yeah, it just repeats for like 5 minutes. So yeah. But the idea is that like that'll kind of loop in different parts of the city, you know.
Well, yeah, I feel like those were most of the questions I had for real. You've been in just like up to a lot of shit in the past like, 5-6 months. But like, congrats on just everything.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate y'all. You know, this is my favorite platform. The talk is really the only one that I can actually be genuine, you know. And I think we established that from the first time I met you at Oberlin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
What an introduction.
Yeah, that was
an amazing
such a good night.
introduction.
That was such a good night.
I think about that night kind of often.
Right?
It's a great night.
Yeah, that was special. That was special. I may be back out there. We you know, I'm actually leveraging an opportunity that I have in New Albany, which is like, yeah, in Columbus. So I may spend some time there if everything goes according to plan. But if not, you know, I'll just figure out what's up with Berlin. Yeah, things have just been great with
I'm
Berlin.
only here for like. Sorry.
No.
I was just gonna say I'm only here for like another 3-4 more months, and then I'm out of Ohio, and I think I'm the last member in Ohio.
That's Mohican. True.
Yeah,
I mean, I really like that town. And I love the architecture on the campus too.
The architecture is sick.
Yeah.
The building's like very different.
Columbus is a cool city too.
Okay, I'm hearing that it's okay, right?
Yeah, I went to school in Ohio for a semester, and Columbus was like the closest city. And you know, New York is like my baseline city, so, and I kind of approved of Columbus. Like,
I love it.
Ohio State has got some cool people there doing some cool stuff, and a lot of the city's influenced by that.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I've been to Columbus, like in high school, like doing baseball tournaments and shit. But I knew a lot of people from Columbus when I went to Oberlin, and they were all like chill as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Danny's from Columbus, right?
From Columbus.
They're mad cool.
Yeah.
Columbus is all right.
Loco Los is from Columbus.
Cool music scene.
Oh yeah, Loco Los is from Columbus.
Like a bunch of like really good artists are low key like from Columbus. Like, there's like a low great artists.
Good. Yeah, I need some artists to work with on this. I think I'm producing like an R&B album for an artist named Guy Locker. I'm producing an R&B album for my friend Jessica. She's done a lot of vocals for IDK.
Cool.
I'm doing rap. I plan to produce an album for my boy Shovo, maybe some co-production on it too. I want to put him in touch with y'all too. I think he's got a lot to talk about. He's a Nigerian sound artist that lives in Chicago.
Please.
Yeah, he's really cool. But after that, I want to make like a kind of like a classic rock influence piano and drums kind of album, you know, and that's what like this new keyboard is for, just so I've got those like early 90s tones and stuff. And I'm thinking like Columbus and like Ohio area is going to have some good musicians I can collaborate with on something like that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I have a question. Do you recommend any like drum pads or like analog? Yeah. It could be analog or digital.
What you want to do?
I want to add like backing drums to guitars, so kind of something that sounds like more natural than electronic.
I'll look into some, and I think we follow each other on Instagram, so I can just give them to you.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Honestly, the TR-505, the Roland 505.
TR-505.
That's the
word. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know.
That's the shit. You also got. Yeah, I think of some.
No pressure. Just like to get opinion from people who use the product.
Yeah, I mean, the 505 is definitely my favorite drum machine. Like, that joint's crazy. That joint is special. So
you said the TR 505 or the SP 505?
TR 505.
Word.
Yeah. The SP, that's the MPC, right?
Nah, sorta.
Oh, you know
It's
what
like,
would be really crazy?
it kind of does look like an MPC.
Let me see. The TR 505 is really the one. Oh, you're talking about the Boss. Yeah. That's like that too. You know what would be really crazy if you could find a Lindrum machine?
Lindrum?
Uh-huh. That'd be really crazy. I actually had one of these when I was in college and I sold it. I had a Rhodes in college and I sold it.
Yeah.
You know, it's so stupid. Why did I sell any of this stuff? It's fucking idiot. But
worth its weight in gold now.
I know, bro. I just feel like a fool. I'm looking at it's like $3,000. So maybe this one is kind of like ridiculously priced. But yeah, 505 is my favorite. That's if I had to go out saying I recommended a drum machine, it would have to be the 505.
Cool. I'll look into it.
The thing about the 505 that's crazy though is like the one I had, the internal clock isn't accurate. So you know, if you're trying to like loop stuff up, it's weird. It's really weird. Like you could, the tempo could say like 85, but it's going to be like 86, 87, 80, 84, 81, 85, 84, 81, 81, 81. Yeah, so it's like impossible to sync. That one was, but I love that about it. So I just never, I would play it. I would play loops and I would program loops, but over top of those, I would play like more of like a drone or something, then instead of something that is like really synchronized directly to it. Because if it's just doing what it wants and you got this drone that's just like slowly going over top of it, then it's just, you know, just like a crazy person's math problem.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's fire.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Do you have any shout outs?
Yeah, shout out my partner Ruby. Shout out Ashova. I was just talking to him. He's got some excellent music, and I want to put him in touch with you. Shout out everyone in Factory Berlin. I'm sure some of y'all will check out this interview, and you know the impressions that y'all have made on me. I'm going to carry with me forever, and I'm really grateful. Shout out to SleepWalker because y'all are the shit, and it's really dope. Next level, genuine conversation that I'm always honored to be a part of. Shout out Pretty Girl County having me back. And yeah, man, that's about it, you know.
Yeah.
Shout out you.
Yeah,
shout out Tony.
Cheers.
Appreciate y'all for real. We locked in. Anything that y'all ever, you know, might need from me, whether it's just like a kind ear or an idea on how to shoot a shot. I'm not the best by any means, but I'm pretty fearless in that regard. So, you know, just feel welcome to hit me up and I could look over an email or give you my insight on what a nice approach might be.
Damn.
Word.
Anytime. Don't hesitate.
That's valuable.
Yeah, don't hesitate. I appreciate y'all for real.
All right.
Likewise.
Well, yeah.
All right.
Wrap this up. Thank you for coming by again for interview part 2. Tony Cruz. This is Sleepwalker Radio.
Part 3 coming one day.
I'll be looking forward to it.
Later.
All right.
It'll happen.
Peace.
All right. Peace out, everyone.
Peace.